Nerds, we've done not one, not two, but three Luke Skywalker lightsabers so far. We've gotten to the last one with our Return of the Jedi cave deleted scene, amazing lightsaber, but this time around is the amazing Ultimate Works Episode 7 and 8 lightsaber. This thing is absolutely cool, so come with me to check it out.
May the Force be with you, Padawan.
Hey nerds, welcome back to the Fellowship of the Nerds. I am your host as always, Luke Skywalker, and today we have a really cool one. Like I said at the beginning, this is going to be Ultimate Works Episode 7 and 8 lightsaber. Now you're going to tell me, wait a second, in Episode 8 I could see his green lightsaber on all the flashback sequences, and don't get me wrong, we are going to be reviewing Episode 8 as well, but we're talking about the blue lightsaber, which is the one that he lost on his duel with Darth Vader in Episode 5, and then we found on Episode 7. We never knew exactly how or why. It was a story for another time, and we just never got around to that time. But it's absolutely cool. It is technically still Luke Skywalker's lightsaber because pretty much throughout the entire movie, and spoiler alert if you've not watched The Force Awakens, but in the movie, once they get the saber and once, Rey has her fight with Kylo Ren and everything, she pretty much has the whole point of like, this is Luke's saber. Like Maz Kanata basically tells her, this is Luke's lightsaber.
That lightsaber was Luke's and his father's before him, and now it calls to you.
And, it just makes it all the worthwhile that at the end, it makes perfect sense once she basically goes to find Luke to hand him the lightsaber. And of course, we all know what happens afterwards, and I'm getting ahead of myself here with Episode 8, but that is the lore of the lightsaber, and that's the reason why I would still consider that this is Luke Skywalker's, even though on this movie this lightsaber is handled by Finn, it's handled by Rey, but it's never touched by Luke. But it still belongs to Luke, if you will, so it is still Luke Skywalker's lightsaber, and that's the reason why we have him included on that. On top of that, on the scenes where he uses it on Episode 8, it's still the same saber from Episode 7, of course. I mean, literally, the movie ends with the lightsaber being handed to him, so they won't change it from one movie to the other. But the sound fonts and everything changes, so you want to stick around for this, because we have a lot of sound fonts that we're going to be checking out, and it is really going to be impressive. Now, as always, I'll never cease to say how much I like the boxes from Ultimate Works, and we open it up to reveal our instructions for this lightsaber. Funny enough, it shows here the bubbles, but this doesn't have bubbles, but hey-ho. We have here, let's see, our charging cable or little tool for the tension screw. We have here gloves, which I think is really cool, although not really needed because these are not really fingerprint magnets. And we have here our amazing hilt, which we're about to check out right now. And here it is, nerds. Look at this. Look at this amazing lightsaber. That with the blade plug and everything, the bunny ears, the button, everything. It's really, really lovely. I had it measured just to check if there was any difference between these and this one and the ones that we have already checked from Episode 4 and 5. And the same circumference, is the same length, everything is absolutely as it's supposed to be. So in that sense, it's absolutely good. We don't have something that's, suddenly changes or it's thicker or something like that. This is absolutely the same. But of course, this is an Ultimate Works, which means that it is going to be a bit different. And what I mean by that is, let's check up the chassis. So we're opening it the exact same way. So, we lift this and we screw, but look at this. Look at that. That's amazing. All written in Arabic. Absolutely cool. Really, really, really cool. And this is an Asteria core, which means that we don't have to turn on the kill switch or anything like that. This is already turned on. We just need to pull it out. But I mean, it's already been turned on. It's in deep sleep. So there's absolutely no need for you to be doing this unless you're going to be doing something with it. Or if you turn it off manually, because the steer cores do have a button. But I mean, we haven't done that for a while, so like there's no need for it. So absolutely amazing. But I love that detail. The fact that it has all the Urbish written on the little cover of the core is absolutely phenomenal, and it puts it on a whole different level. I'm not saying it's better or worse. I'm just saying it's different, and it's really, really, really nice. This the little plank here, it is a little bit different. So let me bring episode 5 real quick so we can do the comparison. So you do see it's different. Also, one thing that is very different is that in episode 5, they famously did this, right? 2 red buttons, and you know, gave like basically negate it from what it was originally on episode 4, which was the little glass eye. And then on episode 7 and 8, they put the glass eye back in, even though this is supposed to be exactly this. So hence why it has, you know, something very similar, which does make sense. But for whatever reason, they said, no, we're going back to this. And, you know, also one thing that is different is that if you see where the control box is in, is that it's in an entirely different location. So the bunny ears are facing away from each other. So that also makes it different. So there is that. Now, I do not know, but this hilt does not say Graflex here. Now, I don't know if this was intentional when doing the new movie, that they didn't want it to say Graflex like it did originally, or if this is an omission from the Ultimate Works hilt. I do think it's the former, not the latter, but if you guys know something I don't, by all means, please write it down in the comments, because it's something I would love to know. I love the lore and the history behind lightsaber, so that's absolutely that. Now, having said all of that, let me stop talking. Let's take this one outside, because this one has a lot of sound fun. And you're going to see, we're going to test a few. They are part of the same, like there are 2 distinctive packs. But what I'm trying to say is that you'll see which one is which. But essentially, we have sound from episode 7, and which are Finn's, and sound from episode 8, which are Luke's. I think they're really cool. The reason why I didn't include Rey on this, at least for the episode 8 part, is that all other lightsabers out there have a Rey sound from Last Jedi. I kind of wanted to do something different, so that's kind of why I decided to go, you know, partly with, you know, a little bit of episode 7 and a little bit of episode 8. Amazing samples, do not get me wrong. But I just wanted to do that instead of having the typical sample that we've all heard from Last Jedi, which is, you know, the one that's the Supreme Leader saying "Young Rey." Like, I just wanted to do something different, so that's the reason why. But enough talking. Let's take it outside and let me show you how cool this is.
I need a weapon!
You have one! That lightsaber was Luke's.
Come get it!
The rebellion is reborn today. The war is just beginning, and I will not be the last Jedi. Strike me down in anger, and I'll always be with you, just like your father. See you around, kid. if what you just said was wrong.
Master Luke.
Okay, that's me. Those are really great fonts, in my opinion. Yes, I know that even though I did say that this is a serial core, you would have heard that it does have sound off or post off sounds. Those part of the samples, like, you know, obviously I've used the samples that we put on all the description, but that in particular, that was just me adding something up, because with Asteria, it's really hard to be able to find anything like that. It's the same way that you don't get the N lockup sound, and that's a pet peeve of mine, that, you know, Asteria doesn't have that. But in this, what I basically did was just I grabbed the sounds that were already part of the sound font for off, and I just literally inserted a clip and just joined the file together, and then, you know, put it out there. This is a little trick. If you have Asteria and you want to have sound off or post off or whatever they're called, sounds on your lightsaber, what you can do is basically join whatever it is that you want to the sound off, and that way when you turn off the lightsaber, you'll get the vrr of the retraction and then the sound, and all in one word. And this is something you can do, like, you know, essentially for free online, or any provided that you do have the sound fonts properly and legally, and you've done the right thing and gotten these from, you know, Juan Sith and from Kyberphonics and from K-Sith and all these wonderful people that do sound fonts, and that really, like, you know, the guys when it comes to this. By all means, then I hope that you have done that, and because, you know, that's the right thing to do, and then you can, you know, work on top of that, because, you know, obviously you bought it, so you can do some tweaking around. And to be fair, like, I think it's actually one of the cool things about this hobby is that, you know, sometimes you can grab stuff and then make them your own. It's the same way that people that buy lightsabers are empty hilts, and they put on their own chassis and they build everything from the ground up. I think that's impressive. I wish I had the capacity to like, and the patience to do something like that. So, you know, I think that's the beauty of this hobby, is that you can build and do stuff on top of that. But like I said, as long as you've gotten everything through the proper channels, because, you know, Juan Sith, Kyberphonics, K-Sith, these guys are masters at what they do, and they have some of the best sound fonts out there. So by all means, get them. Don't don't play around, and they always have like great sales, so like, why wouldn't you? Anyways, rant over. Let's look again at the sound font. So we're gonna start with Finn.
I need a weapon!
You have one!
This is what I was saying around the lockup. See, it just ends like there's no lockup end sound, which I think, you know, it's a pet peeve of mine with Asteria. I don't, but, you know, that's just me. But other than that, absolutely.
That lightsaber was Luke.
Goes to show what I was saying earlier, that, you know, the movie, they make very clear that this lightsaber is Luke's. So that's why we're still considering it Luke.
Come get it!
I love that.
Master Luke.
We should go to episode 8 now.
Amazing. Every word of what you just said was wrong. No. Strike me down in anger and I'll always be with you, just like your father. The rebellion is reborn today. The war is just beginning, and I will not be the last Jedi.
Absolutely great sound fonts, I have to say. I have no doubt in my mind that at some point Asteria will do something about that lockup off thing. So because it really is a bit in my mind. Same way that they'll probably allow post off sounds and all that. Like I'm guessing in an update that will be the case. But for now, this one is really cool. Obviously, if this does have music, just need to remember how to get it. There you go. So we get Last Jedi. Sorry, Force Awakens. And then we get... Okay. Same. Last Jedi. Tell me this isn't cool, guys. I really, really like this. Absolutely amazing lightsaber. If I were to say, if I were to give this a rating in terms of hilt, when I mean hilt, I mean accuracy, ergonomics, weight, all that sort of stuff. I'll give this a solid 9 out of 10. The reason why I don't get this a 10 out of 10 is, but this is a fault of Graflexes in general, is the little ignition button. This tends to be, it's not like it's gonna come off or anything, but it's not like, you have to like, you probably, if I had some tools, I'll be able to like adjust it more. But this is something that it's relatively common from Graflexes. It's a bit, but I mean, as long as you remember that this is not a button that you need to like be smashing stuff, it's absolutely fine. But that takes away a point, so we're gonna give this a 9 out of 10. When it comes to sound font, I mean, these sound fonts are from some of the best people out there, so obviously this is a 10 out of 10. There's no debate here or anything like that. And when it comes to the technology, so the core, everything, I'm gonna give this one in 7.5 out of 10. Reason for this is Asteria, even though it offers so much to the user when it comes to the stuff that you can do without needing to know a lot, without needing to know how to program and stuff like that, which is the fault of Profi. You can do a lot with this lightsaber strictly by just taking the SD card and just doing your edits yourself. So there's that, but the downside of that is a lot of the functions that you will get from a Profi board, for example, the post off sounds, the lockup, the force or sound effects or quote sound effect, none of that is present. You'll have to do it yourself. I've seen people that in order to insert force and stuff, they insert it as one of the many files for Blaster. So like randomly, as you're doing this, they will come up. You can do that, but the problem is that you have no control over it. So like you might be like doing your like deflection thing, and suddenly a code comes on, and you're like, whoa. So there is that. But if you want to do it, then you can do it. But it's not as great as Profi. Obviously, the downside of Profi is that you need to know what you're doing. And if you don't, then you have to go to a Sabersmith or try to tweak it on an SD card, but it's not exactly the same thing. So, make of that what you will. But yes, in terms of technology, I'm going to give this, and the Profi, or in this case, the Asteria board, I'm going to give this a 7 out of 5. 7.5 out of 5, out of 10, sorry. But other than that, absolutely good. In terms of color, ignition, everything that's related to, because this is stuff that we can edit ourselves, I'm not really going to rate it because it wouldn't be fair, because you're the one that can do whatever it is that you want to do with it. So that'd be kind of cheating in a certain way. And when it comes to the box, the presentation, everything that Ultimate Works does, they're really lovely. So I'll give it a 9.5 out of 10. The only reason why I don't give it a 10 is basically on the basis of, in my mind, even though Ultimate Works boxes are very nice, they're a bit narrow, and it kind of feels weird because all the other boxes are normally a bit wider. So, might be a little bit of my OCD talking here, but yeah, that's the reason why I wouldn't get a 10. So that's going to give you an overall score, and you're going to be seeing that on screen somewhere around here. Make of that what you will when it comes to whatever you're thinking about. But when it comes to pros and cons, the only cons that I really can think about this lightsaber are around the limitations of the exterior board that I already mentioned. Other than that, it's absolutely phenomenal. Because this is Ultimate Works, Ultimate Works, you can get this from either their website or Pat Shore, and depending on the time of the year that you're doing this, you can get actually really good prices. Sometimes you'll find this on their B grade section, which is essentially sabers that have a little scratch or a little here, but like they're phenomenal, and they'll save you a lot of money. So do check that out, because that's absolutely fantastic. Unfortunately, I don't have any discount codes to share with you guys for this lightsaber, but having said that, check it out on both and shop around, because you will be able to get Ultimate Works elsewhere as well. But also when it comes to like B grades and stuff, because it is likely that you might be able to find this lightsaber with a good price on that range, and really you'll find stuff that it's scratch and you see it, and if you hadn't been told that he had a scratch, you would have never noticed in your life. But then you've just saved yourself, some money. So that's always a good thing, especially in this day and age with our cost of living eternal crisis. Other than that, is this a lightsaber that I recommend? Well, of course, based on the score that you just seen, yes, absolutely, it is Fellowship recommended. But do have in mind the limitations of what Ultimate Works has. The reason why I wanted to do this with Ultimate Works and not get another Corbans or Beta Sabers or anything like that was the reason that I just wanted to show you guys something entirely different. So all we've seen so far have been Profi boards. I rarely would do lightsabers that are Cinepixel anymore, but I wanted to give you something different from a Profi that will still give you, the highest level of accuracy, that will still have great sound fonts and everything, but it will be a little bit different, so you guys could, get a little different flavor on it. So there is that. And that has been our reviews, nerds. I hope that you find that useful. I hope that you find that interesting. If you did, please leave a like, leave a silly comment for the algorithm. Remember to subscribe. I don't know when you may be watching this, but we might be having our giveaway for 3,000 subscribers. So if we still do, please, by all means, go and check that video out. You'll find links somewhere around on the screen as I'm talking, or you have it on the description. Leave a comment there as well for your chance to win 2 lightsabers, as a way of me saying thank you to you guys for your amazing support, really. And if you're watching this and it's past that, we might have another giveaway around, because we're always giving stuff for people, because at the end of the day, I do this channel for you guys, for you not only to have a source of understanding things about the lightsabers before you buy, because that's really the reason, like, when I was buying lightsabers and stuff, and I wanted to know, I wonder what this sound phone looks like. I wonder, when you start this lightsaber, how does it sound? What does it do? And to some degree I could find, but some I couldn't. So I thought, like, I think it'd be a good thing for me if I'm doing it, to like show people what I was looking for to begin with. So I really did do this so you guys have all the information, all the facts before you make your purchase, because I know this is not a cheap hobby, but it's a great hobby to have. It enables you to meet a lot of people. It enables you to interact with a lot of fans all around the world. It's something I love about this fandom, that it's worldwide. And if you're gonna be enjoying that, you might as well do it having all the facts before you make your purchase, so you can make an informed decision, as they say. Having said that, nerds, like I said, I hope that you find this useful. I have been your host, as always, Luke Skywalker. Remember, the Force will be with you always. Remember to live long and prosper, and may the odds be ever in your favor, Melanin. And until we meet again, mischief manage. I'll see you around, nerds.